Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I just want to go over the chart here, how I'm trading this. We'll do a quick recap, but we're obviously getting a move down, and it's important to realize this was a perfect back test of this high. We also have an important 382 pulled from this pivot high. So as we came up here, we were showing big bearish divergences, which I'll show. I was pointing that out in the Discord here. Is good morning all local bearish divergences and higher time frame one. So you can see here locally on the 5-minute chart we had bearish divergences into that resistance, and I was pointing out the level we were tapping with those bearish divergences and saying we even had them on a higher time frame. So after a big move up like that, bearish divergences showing absorption, big traders absorbing all that aggressive buying pressure, that's a nice short. So I just said I'm short here, the stop above the high. We can head back to the chart real quick. Obviously, I took this long here at 17,600, and I kind of want to go over, how I played that, and we're starting to form some important levels here, but we'll talk about those in a minute. But yeah, so over in the Discord, I obviously took this 17,600 long. I took an initial long off this reaction, so I said, I just made a members video. You can see I circled these levels here. And then right after I shared it, we got the move down, and I was talking about why I'm interested in these levels. But I said, well, that move came down quickly, testing the region of this horizontal and major 786. And I said, and obviously this initial move happened quickly. I said I took a small long, we'll add to it on a retracement with bullish divergences. It was just talking. We got a really nice initial reaction of about 3%, but I was just saying, this is a possible level to add, but we got a bigger move down. And right at the lows, I just said I added more at 17,600. So because we're getting bullish divergences, I'm seeing signs of support coming in. But what I wanted to point out to the members, and I want to always remind everyone of this, I'm managing my risk, okay? I'm still being careful, but I'm a trader and I need to trade the levels I'm interested in. And somebody pointed out that this was a perfect example of demonstrating how against all your kind of primal instincts and emotional instincts and fear, this is a good example of taking a trade. And what I always say is that confidence doesn't come from always being right. It comes from risk management. So if you want to trade a level and you have a plan, an idea, and you're seeing signs of support coming in on a long, my opinion is you take that trade and you just manage your risk. And you need to be able to overcome that fear. If you have data that is suggesting you should take the trade, regardless of what you think is going to happen, because a lot of times those ideas are coming from your emotion, you just take the position. So I was just updating local 5-minute chart price action here. We got a nice move, so that I was taking profits at the first sign of weakness, and that this level would be a usual suspect. And so we pushed up into that level. We got a local rejection, and I just took profits off it. But then saying I wanted to add to my position on the first major retracement. And so here I said I took more profits, and we'll go over that level, and I'm expecting a move down. So I said, took more profits, retracement likely. We'll just keep targeting major fibs for an add, right? Because I was talking about how I wanted to add to my position. This was Saturday afternoon, and I just want to say, it's just important. Why are we rejecting from here? Well, we had bearish divergences. We're just retapping these local highs. And it's likely you get a retracement here, right? And so this is the level I was targeting. But the funny thing is I actually fell asleep. And it was Saturday evening for me. And I didn't wake up till later in the evening. So I actually missed that ad. But we got a nice 2.7% bounce, I think, off there. 2.6. And then we came down, retested it, and then ultimately bounced off the 786. But lots of opportunities to add on a retracement here, which I was just indicating that, hey, I'm expecting a pullback, but I want to add to my position. But then we got this nice push up into this key horizontal with those strong bearish divergences. So even though I'm keeping some of my long open, I also am taking a short position here because the everything indicates that a move down is likely. So what levels are important to the downside? Well, you want to pull major fibs, right, and start looking for confluences. Let me delete this. I'll pull some of this analysis live. You have your value area low over this local price action, and you can just write that out so you know what your level is. It's always good to label your levels. you have your value area high. That's the highlighted portion of the volume profile. You can actually turn those levels on in the settings as well. So you can turn on your value areas here, and they'll mark them up for you. I just like using horizontals. So we have this point of control, another high volume area here. Is this point of control likely to offer a bounce? It's not unlikely because we actually have the 382 here, and it's quite a defined point of control, but we are coming off some pretty strong bearish divergences. So if we get a bounce, it might be a local bounce and might offer an opportunity, if we have more bearish divergences, to get a retest to add to a short, which would also be the bigger 382 from higher. Local 618 coming off bearish divergences. It's not uncommon for price to get local bounces, retracements, right? And it's important not to get bullish at the highs where you're opening longs here and opening shorts here. You want to be opening your longs at the lows, your shorts at the highs, and just using risk management. And just always looking for indications that those trades make sense, right? So anyways, again, still looking to add to my longs. It's important to note that it's a holiday in the States on Monday, so there's no New York market open. So, trade with care. Sometimes price can be a little bit more, I would just say wily on the weekends or when the markets aren't open, but levels still get respected. I don't like to trade as much on the weekends, but if I get a good position like this one, which I'd been waiting for a long time, I'm going to trade it, and I traded it aggressively. But yeah, so is it likely we start forming some kind of range here? I'd say so. Coming off these bearish divergences, we can start getting more local retracements. And you just want to look for bullish signs at support, come retest the lows, and bear signs at the highs for positions. And I don't really like trading necessarily the middle of price action. That's kind of where I'm taking my first take profits. So this point of control would be a nice take profit one from this short. I have a bad habit of leaving a lot of squiggles on my chart in these videos. But yeah, I think ultimately, this is very hard price action to trade because you really just need to have that confidence in your risk management, in your ability to read order flow. But once we start getting a range, the levels become a lot more defined, and you can have nice levels, and you can observe order flow. When price is making all-time lows for the first time in years, that's not an easy trade to take. But I took it, but it's not. I would agree that it's not an easy trade to take. But this short, I'd say, is easier, right? Because you're coming and testing defined local levels with bearish divergences. Not a hard short to take. But yeah. So, anyways, I think it's going to be an interesting week. I wouldn't be too surprised to see some sort of range here come down, test these lows, and then ultimately a push up to here would be very interesting, where we swing failure these highs, grabbing all this liquidity above, and that might offer another nice short in the coming days. But that's how I'm approaching the chart. Looking for those sort of intraday trades. Those maybe, these positions probably run for, well, some of them will probably run for 12 to 16 hours, some of them for a day or two. This long might hold. I've taken profits, but the stop is down here. So if I have a chance to add to it, I will. All right. Hope you guys have a good weekend. That's my quick update.